Hello students, Standard 8 Revision Chemistry Chapter number 4 Materials, Metals and Non-Metals. Almost everything we have repeated in last few sessions, like the physical properties of the metals and physical properties of non-metals, which are very different from each other. Also we learned that there are some exceptions also in the properties. We also learn about some chemical properties of metals and non-metals, like reaction with oxygen, that they make the oxides, metal make metallic oxide, non-metals make non-metallic oxides. We also saw that metallic oxides are basic in nature, while the non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. It means that when dissolved in water, they act like acid or base. Then we learn the chemical property of metals and non-metals with acids, that generally they react with acid. Metal generally react with acid to produce hydrogen gas, but the non-metals do not react with acid. We saw that some of the metals are so reactive, like sodium, potassium, so they cannot be kept open. Sodium also cannot be kept in water because it vigorously reacts with water also. So it is immersed in the kerosene oil. Similarly, one of the non-metals like phosphorus is also very reactive with oxygen. So if it is kept open, exposed to air, it catches fire immediately. So that phosphorus is kept in water because it does not react with water. Now, the another chemical property is the reaction with bases. Bases like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, etc. Generally what happens, the metals when react with bases, they produce hydrogen gas. How do you know that hydrogen gas? As I already explained you in the last session also, that when the gas is produced and if you take a burning matchstick near it, then the hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound. Pop sound indicates that the hydrogen gas is produced. So by this method, we can understand that the metals react with base like sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. If you take some pellets of sodium hydroxide and dissolve in 5 milliliters of water and then drop an aluminium piece of aluminium foil in it, then you will see that the gas will start producing. And if you bring the burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube, it will burn with pop sound. So when aluminium reacts with sodium hydroxide, then aluminium hydroxide is produced and hydrogen gas is released. So thus we can say that most of the metals when react with bases, they produce hydrogen gas. But generally, the non-metals, they also react with bases. But reaction of non-metals with base are very, very complex. So we don't have to learn about there. Just you have to remember that the reaction of non-metals with base are very complex. So maybe in higher standards you will learn more in details about them. Now another very important for the especially metals, that is the displacement reaction. Displacement reaction means one of the metal can displace another metal from the solution. So this process is known as displacement reaction. For example, if you take the copper sulfate solution and take some zinc granules, take some iron granules, we can understand with the activity shown on the page number 50, in which we have to take 5 beakers and label them A, B, C, D and E, in which 50 milliliter of water in each of them, and dissolve the teaspoonful of each substance. Like in A, we have to write down copper sulfate solution. In B also copper sulfate solution. In beaker C, zinc sulfate solution. In beaker D, iron sulfate. And again in beaker E, zinc sulfate solution. And then in beaker A, you have to drop some zinc granules. In beaker B, iron granules. In C, copper turnings. D also, and in E, the iron nails. Now keep the beakers undisturbed for some times, and then you have to record your observations, that what do you observe. Then you will see that in some of the beakers you will see some color change also, and in some of the beakers you will see that the metal that we dropped has a deposited layer of another metal, and in some of the beakers you will not see any reaction taking place. So for example, if you see that in the beaker A, we use copper sulfate solution and zinc granules in it. Now when you do that copper sulfate solution plus zinc granules, then what happens? Zinc granules are deposited with the layer of copper. It means that zinc can displace copper from its solution. So maybe the red mass of copper can be found at the bottom of the beaker also. It shows that the zinc granules are displacing the copper metal from the copper sulfate solution. Similarly, in the beaker be copper sulfate plus iron nails. So when you put the iron nails in the copper sulfate solution, then there will be a layer of copper on that iron nails. A red color, browny red color will be there on the iron nails. Here also the displacement reaction takes place. Means iron can displace copper from the copper sulfate solution. But in the C, D and E, in which we put zinc sulfate plus copper, iron sulfate plus copper, and zinc sulfate plus iron. In these three last, because C, D and E, there will be no reaction takes place. Because in science there is a special arbitrary, means laws. They follow the specific rules. And for the displacement, the law is that, the fact is that, what is that? Look here. More active metals can displace less reactive metals from their solution. But a less reactive metal cannot displace more reactive metals from their solution. It means that here in first beaker and second beaker, we take copper sulfate plus zinc granules. And we saw that zinc granule can displace copper from copper sulfate solution. It shows that zinc is more reactive than the copper metal. Similarly, in the second beaker, we took copper sulfate plus iron nails. It means that here also iron displaced copper from its solution. It means iron is also more reactive than the copper. And then we saw that we take the reverse. Zinc can displace copper, but copper cannot displace zinc from zinc solution. Similarly, copper cannot displace iron from its solution. And iron cannot displace zinc from its solution. It means that zinc is more reactive and copper is very less reactive. According to this displacement reaction, all the metals are arranged in the ascending or the descending order of the reactivity. They are arranged in the sequence from more reactive to less reactive. And that is known as activity series, about which you will learn more in standard 9 and standard 10. From that you can understand that which are the more reactive metals, they can displace less reactive metal from their solutions. Now, uses of metals and non-metals. We know that metals, there are lots of uses of metals and non-metals. So I didn't write down here, you can write down on your own, but we can discuss about it. That, like metals are used in the making of machineries, in the automobiles, in aeroplanes, trains, satellites, industrial gadgets, cooking utensils, water boilers, etc. You can add the uses of metals on your own as you see around you. Like in the furniture, metals are using everywhere. So many uses of metals are there. So it is not necessary that you write down only those who are given on in your book, but according to your observations, you can write down their uses. Like we know that they are using in the packing as a packing material also, like aluminium foil for the packing of tablets, medicines, etc. For some food items also aluminium foils are used. Gold, silver, they are used as ornaments, that is also metals. So you can imagine. Similarly, copper, aluminium, etc. are used as the conductors, wires for conducting electricity. So it is also one of the metals. Cooking utensils, we already talked about it. So here you can see that there are so many uses of metals you can write down on your own. Also you are familiar with some non-metals like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and so many. One of the non-metal is very essential for our survival, that is the oxygen gas, right? We inhale that oxygen, it is a non-metallic element. Similarly, to make the fertilizers, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, etc., non-metals are used. Also, in the water purification, we pass the chlorine gas. Chlorine is a non-metallic element. So chlorine is used as a purification of water. So sulfur is used in the matchsticks, also in the firecrackers. Coal we can use as a fuel, etc. Here also you can add your own uses of non-metals also. So I didn't write down, you can imagine and try to make the list as per your observation. So here we are going to finish today's session, and revision also will be followed by the PDF, and any confusion write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.